Hello everyone, today we'll be redesigning Todoroki's first hero costume. So I already redesigned his current one, and honestly I don't like how it holds up. It doesn't really reflect my current artistic abilities, and I'm going to revisit it at some point, but for today I am focusing on Todoroki's first hero costume. Now, I like the idea, specifically the ice part, and nothing else. I look at it and I go, this is Ice Terminator in a white shirt and white pants. Todoroki is not supposed to be Ice Terminator. I get he's in his edgy phase where he hates his father for good reason, but at the same time, this does not work. And no hate to the original design, but for me it just doesn't work. So what I'm going to be doing is redesigning it in what I would have done. As I have stated previously in my videos, this is no hate to Horikoshi. These are just like different ideas on designs, and these are basically what you can consider backup costumes in their wardrobes. So without further ado, let me start explaining my design. So, I really like the ice part, which I said before, and I wanted to translate that more into something that encompasses his whole body, because he does not want to acknowledge his fire side. To him, in this time frame, is acknowledging his father and basically bending to his whims, and Todoroki does not want to do that. So I decided to have the ice encasing almost his entire body to represent that, and just that total disobedience and dislike of his father and not wanting to follow his wishes because his father is basically ruining his life and ruined it from the get-go. So I totally get that. So we're reflecting that here. And with the ice also covering the whole portion of his body, I came up with that because in the medieval AU that Horikoshi did, he did like this, I think it was one shot, where everyone was put in like this fantasy time, and Todoroki was a prince, and a lot of times there are paintings of famous princes in armor, so for me it was like, oh okay, this is a bit of a natural evolution. I can base his armor off of more medieval style armor, just because I don't want to draw Japanese armor the wrong way. Yeah, that's really the whole inspiration behind the armor, and I wanted to give it a little bit of a darker color, just because I wasn't really sure how well it would stand out on a lighter background, so that's why it's a little darker. And I added the cloth bits on the edges of the armor, just because a lot of European armor, early European armor, and if I remember correctly, the Romans also did this, but they had kind of like fabric skirts around the edges of their armor. If I remember correctly, it was just because it was to cover the squishier areas of the body that could not be covered like by armor. So jointed areas like the butt or the side of the legs near the hips. Those were areas that couldn't really be covered by armor just because they were ball joints or areas close by it, and if they moved around too much it would cause a lot of chafing on other areas of the body that were supposed to be covered with armor, so that's why it wasn't there. And also I just like the look a little bit, so I added those, and I kept the arm straps just because I liked the look of that. There's really no reason why they're there, honestly. It's just, I kind of like the idea, so I kept it. I also kept the white base, just because I wanted the armor to stand out a lot more, but I did add a little bit of a silver coloring to the mini circle around his neck. I wanted to add a little bit of variation there because I felt if it was just a full white bodysuit, it would be a little too plain. I also wanted to tie in the silver with the other parts of the costume, just so it worked a little bit better. And I felt that if I didn't include that piece, it just would be a little off balance. And the whole reason why I picked the color silver was originally I was going to go with a red, because it would look pretty nice, and a lot of the times with this armor that I'm referencing with this, there was red cloth used for the skirt bit, but then I remembered his whole issues with his father, again for good reason, and I thought like, okay, this design is supposed to be him rebelling in a sense, so I shouldn't include the red. So instead I chose silver, because it also falls more in line with the whole ice theming, and if I chose blue it would just be way too much blue, so it was a silver. With the boots, I wanted to keep the same ice armor going on with the arms and the chest plate, so I kept that, but I also gave some really thick traction pads on the bottom, and this was on purpose because he runs around on ice a lot, so if he's building an ice bridge or skating on his ice, then he needs something with enough grip that it won't send him completely flying, because he needs to be able to glide, not go flying through the air like an airborne chicken. So that's the end of this redesign. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. It really helps support the channel. And let me know what you think in the comments down below. If you have a character's costume or outfit that you would like me to redesign, recommend it. Also make sure to put the name of the show that the character is from in that recommendation, because I might not always know what you're talking about. Thank you and bye! Sorry to interrupt, but I have an Etsy store. If you'd like to support the channel, you can get yourself some jewelry there. Here's the new Halloween earrings that were just dropped. The store is called Sugar Bread Studio, and it would be amazing if you could at least take a look. Here's an art piece that I made recently. It would really mean a lot if you went over to my Instagram to leave a like on it and just leave a comment. I work really hard on both my videos and my art, so it just really means a lot. And it also just helps me reach more people and get my art seen. So I would really appreciate if you did that.